We are now ready to get started coding in Python. But how do we do that? What do we use? Well, bring up a terminal window on your Mac machine. Here is my terminal window. My prompt might look a little different, but that's because of the customization that I've used. This is just a plain old terminal window. On the terminal window, run the python dash dash version command in order to see the current version of Python that is running on your machine that has been installed. You can see that it's 3.7.1. This is the version that we just installed using Anaconda. If you run the command where is Python, you'll find that there is a version of Python available under user bin Python. Now it's important that you remember that this is not the version of Python that we're going to use. This is the Python version that comes built in on your Mac. So if we hadn't installed Python using Anaconda, this is the version of Python that would be running on your machine. But because we do have Python installed using Anaconda, when you run which Python, you'll see the version of Python that our machine will use to execute our programs. This is the Python present under Anaconda 3 bin Python. So even though we have multiple Pythons installed, this is the Python that will be used, the one in Anaconda 3. Here I am in the home directory of my Mac machine. I'm going to run an ls command here to see what directories I have under here. Now here is the projects directory, and within the projects directory, I've already created this subfolder called Skillsoft, and within Skillsoft, I have the Skillsoft basic Python subfolder. This is the subfolder that I'll use to write code. This is of course up to you. You can choose any directory or folder on your local machine to get started. But where do we write our Python code? We'll use a tool or an IDE, an integrated development environment called Jupyter Notebooks. You can learn more about Jupyter Notebooks at jupyter.org. But basically, what it is a browser based interactive shell where you can type in code right within your browser window, execute that code, and see the results of your execution right there within the browser. Now, this is extremely cool because it gives you fast feedback as to whether you've made a mistake or not. Jupyter Notebooks is one of the most popular environments that Python developers use to write and prototype their code. Running Jupyter Notebook will run the Jupyter Notebook server right here within your command prompt. So make sure that you don't close this terminal window. The notebook server that we just ran will automatically open up a browser window, or if it doesn't, you can simply copy paste this URL into a new browser window, and that's what I'll do here. And this brings up the home page for Jupyter Notebooks. And this should bring up a browser window that looks like this. This is the home page for Jupyter, where we'll create what are called Jupyter Notebooks, where we'll write our Python code. The files that you create using Jupyter Notebooks will be automatically saved within your current working directory or your current folder, and they will have the IPYNB extension. Now, these files are referred to either as Jupyter Notebooks or IPython Notebooks. IPython is an older name which is still often used. In order to create a new notebook, you need to click on this new menu drop down to the top right of your screen. Click on new. This will bring up a menu and you can select the Python 3 option. Selecting Python 3 indicates that the notebook will run on the Python 3 kernel. So the code that you write will be interpreted and executed using the Python 3 kernel. This will open up a new notebook on a new tab on your browser, and this notebook will automatically get the name Untitled. It's extremely easy to change the name and rename this notebook so that it has a name that is meaningful based on the demo or the Python code that you're going to write. Select the current name of this notebook, that is Untitled, click on it, and this will bring up a little dialog, and then you can rename this notebook to be anything. Let's say you want to call it My First Python Notebook. Click on the rename button and you'll find that your notebook name has been updated. You're now ready to get started with coding. But how do you code? Well, this little box that you see here on screen is actually a code cell. And you type in your code within this little box and then you hit Shift Enter in order to execute this code. Shift Enter is what you hit, both of these keys together, to execute the command that you've typed into the code cell. Shift Enter will execute those commands, print the results on screen, and it will also create new code cells if needed. Observe that the command that we've typed in here is not really a Python command. Instead, it's a shell command. or something that you would type in on your command prompt. You can also type in your command prompt commands within your Jupyter notebook. Make sure that you precede these commands with an exclamation point. This will tell your notebook that this is not a Python command, instead it's a shell command. So we have exclamation Python dash dash version that will print out the current version of Python that we are using, which is Python 3.7.1.